First of all, there's no birth and there's no death. All there is change. But we can take with us a great gentleness of heart and a great capacity for joy upon our death if we know we used our time effectively and did what we could. I feel like if I'm gonna live on, I need to be as honest and as deep about my own personal experience in the work so that I leave behind an honest portrait of who I was.
We're talking about a phenomenal artist that practices his craft every single day. I think that's one of the things that kind of really identifies him. He's so dedicated to it. He works so hard at what he does, and he's serious about it, and he's wholehearted, and he loves it. The show that we currently have up is with Mike Giant and Adam 5100, and you know, the funny coincidental thing is that they're both from Albuquerque, and they're transplants in San Francisco. And they've both been here for a long time and now have built up a really great network of friends and a following.
He's a little bit older than I am, and I didn't know him in Albuquerque at all. But being from Albuquerque means you were inspired by Mike Giant. It was just kind of a standard of Albuquerque. Mike is a legend there. It was a legend then and is still a legend. It's crazy.
My family moved us to Albuquerque in 1979. I got a lot of love for New Mexico. It's gorgeous. There's no denying that. It's one of the most beautiful places on the planet. I've never seen skies as colorful as New Mexico's. There was millions of different component things that needed to come together for me to be manifested as a human being. I'm driven to black and white because of my vessel. You know, I've got red-green color blindness. I see color fine. I just don't see the subtleties and the tones and hues. I've had to learn how to just go for it. Whatever you're presented with, make it happen. It can be like that in graffiti. I'd have like a stash of like 20 of those kind of scrap cans and put them in a big bag and go to a wall somewhere and just figure it out. You know? In my colorblind ass, I'm even reading the color of the can and I'm just like, what the hell does mulberry look like? I have no fucking idea what mulberry looks like. And then I spray it and I'm like, it's dark. All right, I'm gonna use this for a little while. You know, and the outlines would be like from one color into another and the fill-ins are all different colors, you know? But those are fun. You never know how they were gonna come out. The two big influences on me were Doc and Agree. They were guys that moved to Albuquerque and showed me how to do it all. How to rack, how to build letters, gave me alphabets, the whole nine. When we needed help, they were there. I had really good teachers. I'm just maintaining my respect by continuing to do it. You just start with that first line and look at it and go, I think that'll work. Let's go for it. I just showed up with the paint and had a look at the space and just kind of went for it. I didn't have any sketch or anything. It's not as exciting as it used to be. It's more the process of it, but as soon as it's over with, I kind of am ready just to go.
In the early 90s, Mike Giant ended up in San Francisco. He traveled everywhere, and that's just where he liked the most, and it was, I think, affordable at the time, and there was a lot of graffiti going on in the city. There were all the pits people were painting, which were the fallout from the earthquake from years before. The city wasn't really buffing. The mid-90s through almost probably 2001, San Francisco was almost a graffiti tourist trap. People would go there for the summer just to write graffiti because they could do so much.
As a writer, you know, I think you should aspire to be a king, and a king is someone who is up a lot and has the best style.
Mike has always done his own thing, but Mike's own thing has always attracted a lot of attention because Mike's so good at his own thing. I think when you look at his real artwork, you see a lot of the same style, a lot of the same motion, a lot of the same lines. They're just not lines creating a letter anymore. They're lines creating a woman. They're lines creating a rose. They're lines creating a snake, whatever he's drawing.
I think my work when I was a little kid was a bit more colorful. And then just as time went on, I just refined it and refined it and refined it as much as I could with a real simple tool, just a Sharpie on some paper, to the point now where it's, God, you know, I'm 38 years old and I'm still doing it. You know, and my damn magic marker drawings are selling, you know, in galleries around the world. It's hilarious. I have a show at Guerrero Gallery on December 11th is the opening. I'm a little more than halfway through it, I guess, right now. I still have not much time, just a little more than a week, really, but I'll get it all done. This one's almost finished, this collage. And I'm just doing these on these wood panels, and they've been a lot of fun.
Mike has also revisited a lot of styles and works that he's been working on over the years. When I first met him, he was putting out a magazine called Huffer at the time, and it incorporated a lot of his style of collaging images together with not only graffiti images, but also with little clips of people that he enjoyed or likes or girls, and he's never really presented work like that. He's done it before in his own personal like black books, but out publicly, this is the first time.
I guess I could show you some of those books, but I'd have to figure out which book would be appropriate. Let me see if I can find a page in here that I can show to the camera. There's that acid one. Yeah, this one's good. So, showing the inspirations, you know, the images that are on the wood panels for the show are things that I've been collecting for years. This is a good one of my friend Dash Snow from some magazine that I found. And one of my teachers, Thich Nhat Hanh, and Mark Gonzalez, a big influence.
He writes all these little side notes within the piece, and it gives kind of a pointer to his process and kind of what he's thinking about when he's doing the piece, which I think is so cool.
These are fun, like writing this shit out, because it's mostly memories, and as you start to feed the memory, it starts to come back more and more and more, and then it's just like a movie that can play where it's so funny. Like every fucking time, it makes me think of all this other shit as soon as I start to write things down. I met her through a friend. She wore latex pants, and I had a thing for that at the time. She had crooked teeth like all the other English girls I knew. She was super hot other than that. She told me that she fucked a cute plumber when he stopped over to fix a clogged drain. She was that kind of girl. We never really fell in love, but we did have a great time. I moved back to San Francisco, and that was that. I feel like I'm kind of spilling my guts in these works, and what I'm hoping is that that story resonates with everybody else's story of, you know, love and relationship and the construct of personality. You know, I'm trying to get underneath that. We'll see how it goes. People might hate him and be like, what's this? You know, where's the drawings? You got any posters?
We kind of sat around and talked about some ideas, and Mike was like, hey, I want to actually do like paintings on canvas, which I thought was brilliant. I love that. I love artists that like to translate their work and speak their voice with different mediums.
I was a little stressed about doing paintings when I started these, and then I did the first one, and I was like, oh, check that out. And I realized that I had learned a lot that would help me paint from other mediums. This project in particular came from my interest in wanting to do this, you know, just from, you know, art history, like kind of playing along, so to speak, and also curious about what if I played with their medium of choice? Would they dig it? Yeah, painting. It's all good. I can't hate on painting. God bless the painters. I got more love for them than anything because I don't like doing it, you know? But it'll last longer than any tattoo that I've ever made. I went to a tattoo convention in New York City because I had been approached by my buddy Nala about the idea of learning how to tattoo, and I was like, oh, hell yeah, finally. You know, I've been waiting for that kind of for years, but had kind of given up on it at the same time. And he was really the only one that I thought I wanted to learn from, honestly. You know, it was funny. He was the only one. I kind of put all my hopes in him, and if it wasn't gonna happen, it wasn't gonna happen.
Giant asked if I would teach him, and I believe I said no. Like, you know, no. About a year later, he started getting more and more tattoos. I did something on his back. He asked me again, and I was getting more and more impressed with his art. And it's hard not to support somebody who you admire artistically. He just took it from there and excelled incredibly fast at it. Already had his sense of himself, and that's a huge part of it.
And he didn't give me like a conventional apprenticeship at all. It was more like, here's the tools, see if you even like doing this first. And I tried it. I tattooed myself first, showed him, and he was like, fuck, that looks great. Wow, okay. Yeah, do some more. Then I moved to New York the summer of, I think, '99. And tattooed full time. And that was my first street job.
And if memory serves, he had that nervous, let's go, let's just get going here. And once you do it, you know, it's this, you know, adrenaline rush, and, you know, you were a little scared, a little nervous, but, you know, you're so stoked you're finally doing it. I think that the tattoo industry has so few unique voices, and he has a unique voice. And I think tattooing world is better with him in it, and he should probably do that forever.
I do have a lot of love for tattooing, and God, you know, I'm still fucking doing it, even though I tell everybody I'm not.
I think by the time I decided I wanted him to tattoo me, he was already taking a break. So I was really sad for a long time and almost gave this arm to LA Ink, and thank God I didn't. I have the books. I love the black line styles that he does. I have a couple of the Sharpie parchment pieces. I don't know how to explain why I like it. I just do.
I think he already had kind of a following before he started working here. And it, you know, it just got bigger.
We just became friends for a couple years, painting, doing art, and just one stoner day at his house, he asked me if I'd be interested in learning to tattoo, and I was like, fuck yeah. He really has a mindfulness and like a calmness about him, and he's always reminding you to be in the present moment. It's good to be around somebody that helps inspire you to do so.
I came back from New York and I tattooed at home for a while. I had a cool living situation and my roommates, I was tattooing them too, and it was cool. That's actually when I met Joshi, who's my partner at Rebel 8. It was when I was tattooing at my house.
In '98 or '99, I really wanted a tattoo. It was my first tattoo. And I didn't know anything about tattooing, but I knew about graffiti. So I heard through other people that Giant was starting to tattoo, and I didn't know him at the time. And so I reached out to him and said, I want a tattoo, hoping that you can do it for me. And it was my first tattoo. It was the first day I met Mike. And I asked him if he would draw something for me. He did. I then asked, can I print these on a t-shirt? And he was up for it, and he said, sure, go for it, knock yourself out. And I started taking the limited few shirts I printed and started just selling them on the street and to friends. You know, Rebel 8 started with $500.
He had like crazy fucking PMA, you know? Positive mental attitude, motherfucker. He's just on it. He's just so psyched. Initially, it was just a few shirts, you know, just to kind of see how things would go. And I was like, yeah, dude. I trusted him.
when it's not like on sales or on a business kind of structure, and it's more about Mike and I as a friendship, working together and friends working together, I look at it to when he first drew it, you know? Well before a shirt was even made or anything.
I feel like I put a lot of effort into my work, and it's nice to see the work expressed in so many different mediums, including t-shirts, you know? Especially t-shirts, because then it's not a person, it's human. It's something I've always had a lot of faith in, you know, because I'm a t-shirt wearing kind of guy, you know? And luckily there's a whole generation of us. I have a mission. I'm on my own. You know, I work every day, hard. And I think that with that, let's say, time that I have, that freedom that I've made for myself, you know, I felt compelled to develop that and see what lurks in that kind of space. It's like wrapping up another decade of life, it feels like. I'm really excited to see where Rebel 8 goes over the next 10 years, for sure. That's super exciting. I'm super, super pumped about all that. As far as, like, other kinds of artwork and stuff's involved, I think I'd like to have the opportunity just to make some work for a few years and not have to worry about where the hell it's going or who's gonna buy it. It ends up feeling like work when I have pressures of timelines and things. And that's not the point of art. It's the time making it that's the important part. I don't know, man, I got it really good.